Good evening, everyone. This is Pradeep, Ambassador of Change from GETI, Lucknow, the Global Education Training Institute. We are the premier training institute for teachers and principals in all of India. On this platform, we have interacted with more than 1,000 educators from India and all over the world. And GETI has international and our own trainers for our many programs. And for more information on this, please go to getilearn.org, GETILEARN.org, or contact us on 740-840-1000. You are on our disruptive education program, and this evening we have for you Mrs. Dhvani Pandya. She's an assistant professor with the St. Kabir Institute of Professional Studies in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. She has done her MA in English, a BA, and is pursuing a PhD. She has 9 years of experience. She is an assistant professor in English, soft skills and corporate communication at St. Kabir's Institute of Professional Studies. She is a skilled lecturer with proven ability to experiment innovative pedagogic approach, which results into instilling a holistic learning environment. Constant research and cognitive fitness through English literature has widened her horizons in leadership research, English language development, neuroscience, mindfulness, and resilience counseling therapy. Many of our students under the mentorship have bagged success in their placements. She will be speaking to us today on ICUC, student, teacher, and virtual world. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. It's highly my pleasure to be on the very prestigious platform and share my opinions on the very innovative movement that is disruptive education. Am I audible? Is my screen visible? Let me share my screen with you. Could you please unmute yourself? Could you please start your video, please? These dialogues. Yes, these dialogues are nothing new. They're not new for us right now. So, we, the teachers, have developed so much during this current pandemic. And it is said that teachers are capable.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Please put
Yes,
on
sir.
your please put on your PPT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I was saying that it is said that teachers are capable to change lives with the right mix of chalk and challenges. But you know what? After the sudden outbreak of COVID-19, the chalk suddenly disappeared. The chalks disappeared, but do you know what didn't disappear? Teachers and changing lives. They remained as it is, but with more challenges, increased set of expectations from the teachers, from the outside world, from the teachers, from the students, from the society, from all stakeholders of the education. So today, with the same objective, I am going to talk on the topic ICUC, student, teacher, and the virtual world. But before I start, let me explain what do I mean by my title, that is ICUC, student, teacher, and the virtual world. Whether it is online or offline mode, whether it is online or offline education mode, there are teachers who focus only on I speak, you listen. There are teachers who focus more on I speak, you listen. And that is the mode traditionally we have witnessed in our education system. And same has been currently observed in an online mode. But sadly, the surety of the student listening and understanding simultaneously is minimized. It's minimized by the distraction of the social media notifications many of the time. And because of that, the scenario is like this. Before some time, we can say before our time, in our generation, the skipping classroom was like this first image. It was so much difficult to skip a class. But after COVID 19 and after online education, the skipping class nowadays has replaced with this particular image, the second image. The student had to just unmute themselves, keep their audio off and video off. And they are happy that they have skipped the classrooms. So, with that same focus, my title is I see, you see. We have to replace this. We, the education fraternity, educator fraternity, have to replace this particular ideology. I speak and you listen. No, that zamana is gone. We have to develop a new ideology, and that is what I want to propose today. I see, you see. That means I want to see my students participate, collaborate, create, analyze, talk with me, collaborate with me, critical thinking ability, everything. I want to see that in my classroom. And you see, that means you, matlab students, you see how you grow to face the challenges of the real life. And from the virtual world, I don't mean only the online education platforms. From the virtual world, I mean that the outside world of the students, the Google world of the students, where everything is so easily available. So, if you are just talking, speaking in class, they are not going to entertain you, my dear teachers. So, that is why we have to inculcate, we have to ensure that we, the teachers, are able to create the student and teacher relationship so well, so that they are going to grow, they are going to witness the self development, so that they are very much easily able to face the challenges outside of the world also. So that is what I'm going to focus on today's talk. I see, you see. That is what the ideology I want to propose. If we want to participate in the disruptive education, this is must. Only I speak and you listen will not work more. Let's have one reality check. Why I believe that we have to propose this new ideology of IC and UC, because the inputs, when a student gets admission, let's say from a very beginner level, the nursery, the inputs are innocent child, is very innocent. He had the hard invested, the hard earned money of the parents. There are lots of efforts from everyone, but the output is really dangerous. When he comes out after the graduation, or let's say after finishing all the qualifications, a fully confused adult struggles for the livelihood. Yes, I agree that he had the good amount, good salary monthly, but he's not happy. The livelihood is missing. And for facing the livelihood, there are daily struggles he's facing. There are lacks of clarity about the job, money, relations. What do I want to do with my life? What is my purpose? So, because of this output, the question is on our side, the teacher's side, that what actually you have done, what inputs you have done, so that the output is not very good. So that is why I want to promote this new ideology, that if we want that this output would be good, the students are having the same meaning and purpose, we have to create something new in our classrooms. Let's have again a reality check. I'm going to play a very short video. This is for both the educators as well as the students. We don't know what actually we want from our life, and that is why the output is not so clear many of the time, nor for the teacher, neither for the students. So I'm going to play the video. Right, so I want to pose this same question to the audience who are watching me online. This is it in our life, right? We enter to the world, we take education, we get married, we have responsibilities, we get good amount of salary, monthly salary is there, but this is it. RIP, last is the death. So this is it for what God has given as the human being birth. No, not actually. And this is what the human being, has to understand, that this is not the actual purpose and the meaning of our lives. And when I talk about the education sector, we the teachers have to understand this very carefully, that we are here to change somebody's life. This is not an ordinary profession, my dear friends. We have to invest our times, we have to invest our efforts to make their lives better. And when you are actually able to do it, believe me that you will be able to successfully identify your meaning and your purpose of your life. So, this is not it. If this is the purpose of life, that you take birth and you take death, the, the gap between that is not visible, then your life is not that much effective. That is what I want to say here. This is an analysis. Why I believe so much in identifying the meaning and purpose of an educator, because this is what the current traits, current characteristics of the 21st century student. If I discuss one by one, the first, the effective oral written communication. Are we training them for that? Yes, we do train. Collaboration across the networks, right? Intercultural networks, intercultural ability should be there. We have to prepare our students, because this is what expected from the industry, right? So only the bookish knowledge, only the knowledge which is there on the syllabus will not work more, right? He had to face the challenges outside the world also, and this is what the skills and attributes of today's learners that are expected from the outside world. So collaboration across the network is necessary. So are we preparing them for that? No. Agility and adaptability. There are many changes. COVID 19 is one such simple example. Agility and adaptability. He should be very much agile. If I just talk about today's generation, today's force, they are not that much agile to learn new things every day. So this is also for the students. Yes, you have to be very much agile and adaptable for the any changes that come across to your life. And we, the teachers, have to create our syllabus, our curriculum, like the students are easily they learn that skill of adaptability. The next is grit. They have to have that guts in them, that yes, I can do something. The resilience is one of the things that is also expected from the 21st century learners. Next is very, very important, the empathy. And from developing, from inculcating the empathy, we will be able to create the sustainable development eventually. Very interestingly, I have noticed in my career that many of the students, when they enter the college or when they enter the school, let's say, they're not very much clear about the vision of their life. So that vision we have to forecast for them. We, the teachers, have to do it for them. The next is self regulation. They're very much reluctant to do something. Nahi nahi, ye mere se nahi hoga. They don't have that self regulation. And why they are not able to do it? Because they are not spiritually balanced. So that is why that education is also important. That development of skill is also necessary. We have to develop hope, and this is what exactly, there are failures, life is very challenging, my friends, and we have to develop that hope and optimism in the students. And that is why they will be ready to face any challenges outside the world. Curiosity and imagination, the words are very interesting. Curiosity, and that is only we can do it. We, the teachers, can do it. We have to create our classroom like students are very much curious to know something new. And for that, my dear teachers, we have to invest a lot. We have to do many efforts so that we will be able to deal the next generation of the students. The next is initiative and entrepreneurialism. They have to believe in their own efforts. There are many students who don't like to take initiative. They are very much happy, excuse me, they are very much happy in their comfort zone. They don't want to come out of their cocoon and try something new. So that is, we have to identify that. We, the teachers, have to identify. So if we want the change, disruptive change, that is the title of this movement, what Dr. Sunita Gandhi is proposing. So if we want to contribute something in that change, yes, it is possible. And we have to do it the first hand. We have to give that high five to our students that, yes, I am there with you, don't worry. And we have to involve them in our activities. And last, critical thinking and problem solving ability. So this is something I have summarized, that these are certain skills that will be required in today's generation. So whenever, as you can see in this center, the person who is having the technical knowledge, we don't have to worry about that at all. They are very much adaptable to the technology. What we have to worry is, we have to make sure that they get that robe of imagination, they get that wings of imagination, so that they can fly high, right? So that is why you can see that normal, this picture is not very much normal. Normally we see that the student has two ponies, but what you can see here, three. So they have to create that there, हमको उनको different बनाना है. So for that, these skills are necessary. We have to create that agility, that the students also are there with us and they also share the same vision what we are sharing. And it's not that much easy, my friend. We have to invest a lot. We have to believe. First of all, we, the teachers, have to decide the purpose and the meaning of our life. That yes, we want to change. We want to spread the difference in our students' life. Then everything is easy. Then make sure that everything come step by step, and you can do the thing. If I talk about simultaneously, that if we want to achieve these the skills and the development in the students, what do we require? What are the qualifications of the teachers? What are the qualifications of the educators? Let's say, first requirement is, he or she should be relationship builder. He should have that emotional stability. Right, just strict teachers say, yes, we have to be strict at times, but no, we have to understand the students empathy. We have to go to their shoes and understand that why are they not able to perform any task, but what actually the current education system is doing. If the student is not able to do something, or if the student is not perform any task, they are termed as the poor learners, or the poor slow learners, we can say. But instead of tagging them, or instead of judging them, analyzing them, we have to create that relationship. We have to know actually that what are the reasons, why are they not able to perform actually, right? So to explain you this, I'll just share one of the very important story with you. So for that, I have just minimized my slide for a bit. There was a classroom of, yeah, Pradeep sir, do I need to zoom in my screen, or it's okay? Do I need to zoom in? Because I can
Ma'am,
see, yeah. I just wanted to come in front of the screen to discuss one of the very important stories, so that I don't need the
yeah, you'll have
PPT
to.
right now.
Okay, so I'll remove the PPT.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
And then again, I'll switch back to the PPT. Right. So I was talking to you about one such story. It's a real story, and there was one teacher of class 9, and it was her first day. So she entered the classroom, and the first day she began with an activity that she rotated a number of pages to the students and told the students that please highlight, observe your classmates, please highlight one strength and one weaknesses for your classmates. Every students were very much surprised. Obviously, the ninth standard classrooms are like that only, that they like activity in the class, they like fun in the classroom. So they enjoyed this activity. After the classroom ended, after the session ended, the teacher collected all the papers. The students were confused कि टीचर आखिर में करना क्या चाहते हैं. right? After the time is over, after I can say 1 or 2 months, the teacher again came back with the same papers with decorated envelopes, and she gave to each students. Now when the student opened that envelope, what was written, let's say for example, I am the student, Dhvani Pandya, these are your skills, these are the good activities, good attributes that you have, that the whole class believes on you, and these are certain of your weaknesses, certain of your area of improvement that you need to improve. If you are able to improve that, believe me, my friend, these are the actual words that the teacher has used in the class. So if you are using those improvement of yours, you will be successful in your life. Now the activity was over here. The teacher also gets retired after the 20 years of her retirement. Suddenly one day she received an envelope, a postcard, mentioning that she is invited in a ceremony, a tribute ceremony of an army officer. So she went there. She didn't know that what actually it is about. Who is this army officer? She is clueless about this. So when she reached there, what she noticed is there are many people who came beside her, and they were asking that, ma'am, are you this particular man? This is your name? And she was surprised that why are you asking me my name? Who am I? वो तो सब जानती है. Why are you asking me my name? One lady came that, ma'am, my husband is a huge fan following of yours. And again, she was very much confused that who is your husband? Ma'am, do you remember the ninth standard activity? My husband was in your classroom, and he had one paper of something strengths and weaknesses, and every day, every morning, he reads that paper, and that I don't know why that paper gives him a lot of encouragement and motivation. So the teacher was not able to recollect what the activity was actually, but there were many students gathered beside her, and they were discussing that, ma'am, do you know this particular person, jinki ceremony mein, the tribute ceremony you are invited for, is one of the very famous army officer, and I'm his wife. And what he shared is that my teacher in ninth class conducted a very simple activity, and the benefit of it, that paper noted, in that paper it was written down that I have a good leadership ability and I don't know about it. And that day I decided that if I have a good leadership ability, I have to go to that particular profession where I can excel. That was written in that paper, and I explored more and more in my life, and what I noticed is that I decided to become an army officer. So this is how the change in the teachers. That moment she was speechless, that what should I speak, I don't know what should I speak. So that is how we, the teachers, don't know that how many lives we are making an influence for. We have to just invent our small bit of influence. We have to do something for them. We have to understand their problems. We have to advise for their problems, and be sure that one day this small effort of yours will be there because teacher never leaves their influence. So that is what from this particular story I wanted to tell you. So again, I'll go back to the screen. Okay, the next one, the learner, right? It's not that because I possess or I do have certain qualification, I am an all-rounder. No, you're a teacher. So you are always a learner. You have to update yourself on daily basis. So that is what the next quality which is expected from the teachers who want to spread difference in the society. The next is inclusive. You have to include others' opinions. It's not every time that whatever I am saying is right. So you have to include others' opinion. You have to ask your network, ask your colleagues, ask your peers, and update yourselves. Reflective. There are many teachers who are very much narrow minded and who believes that my idea is only right, but this is something we are dealing with the life of the students. So where only your opinion is not very much important, you have to reflect on somebody else's idea. You have to showcase your opinion also. This is something very much required for the 21st century networking. We have to know what is there in the society, what is there in the outside world. Have the strong network, have the strong connection so that you will be easily gelled with each other. Very importantly, the next attribute of teacher is innovator. He had to innovate. From innovation, I don't mean the experiments only. He had to innovate the new pedagogy in the class. He had to innovate something new every time he goes in the class. He had to believe that yes, this class should be a wow. So every time if the teacher innovates something, yes, the change is possible. The leader, that is the I must say that during the COVID-19 the teachers have come out from their comfort zone. They have worn the mask of adaptability, and they have dealt with the challenge so easily that I would term teachers, I would not use the term teachers, actually I would say academic leaders. They are actually in very the true sense, they are the leaders. So teachers have to lead. By leader, I don't mean they have to just instruct the students. No, they have to set an example that how to lead. They have to show that empathy, emotional connect, sympathy to the student, so that the students will be motivated. Students will feel proud of their teachers. That look, this is my teacher, and he is our leader. Look, this is my mentor. He or she is mentoring me, and because of him or her, whatever I am today, it is because of all her efforts. So you have to set an examples. So that is the leader. Storytellers. From storyteller, again, I don't mean the Akbar Birbal story. You tell the stories in the class. No, you have to create that atmosphere in the classroom so that your classroom is not a boredom for the students. You have to share various experiments from the outside of your syllabus, from the experiences from the outside of the people. You have to connect with the students through your new innovative pedagogy. From designer, I mean that the teachers, the educators have to design new ideas every time he or she enters the classroom. And from every time, I mean yes, every time, always. Because once you deal and innovate your classroom, the expectations of the students are very high. And I'm not saying that you have to set on their expectations. No, it is your benefit also. You are also developing yourself along with them. And last but again a very important, artist. Artist, from artist I mean creative. Be creative in the classroom. Have the new pedagogical approach, and I will not more focus on what kinds of pedagogical approach you have to include, but yes, there are many pedagogical approach. To name few, I would say blended learning, flipped classroom, team building, experiential learning. So you have to creative. For that, you have to also learn, you have to also explore the new tools available. If you are dealing online or offline, that is not the case. Whether the mode, it's just the mode of the education. You have to decide that what creativity in the next class, because students will be very much curious कि आगे क्या आएगा मैम की क्लास में या तो सर की क्लास में. So you have to think continuously. The very beautiful image, I would say that this image is perfectly describes the role of teachers in 21st century. How? I would just say this is the picture of our divine goddess Shri Durga Mata, and you can see the lion here. Lion is the education, because through education we can definitely change many lives. So this lion is the education. Durga Mata is the teacher herself or himself. You can see that Durga Mata is having 10 hands. So from 10 hands, I mean the teacher should be multi-talented, right? He's not only for the delivering of the completion of the subjects or completion of the syllabi only. Curriculum is not only important. You have to spread that influence, you have to spread that impact in your students life. And from this evil, jisko Durga Mata, she's killing that evil. Those evils are not your students. The evils are the negativity, the fears in your students life. Because nowadays what we have observed, at least I have observed as a teacher, that when a student enters in the college or school life, he is having multiple fears: fear of speaking English, fear of taking out your opinion in front of so many public, fear of dealing with the pressure, fear of time management, fear of productivity. So many problems are there, and for those problems the solution was only one. That is, whenever we are in a problem, we obviously ask God for help. So that is why I'm not saying that teachers are God. We are not that position. Obviously, we are not. I'm not saying that teachers are at that pedestal. But this is just an example of what I have connected with. So teachers are nothing more than the divine, powerful goddess Durga, who is continuously killing the evils, negativity, fears inside the student's mind or inside the student's life. So that is what our role is very important. So if we want to have the students who are the best students, or the students who can deal the outside problems very easily, we have to play the role of Durga Mata. Yes, we have to be multi-talented. Yes, we have to know this, we have to know that. We have to set an example. In short, just I want to say that yes, our students should be proud of ourselves. That yes, I'm the student of this particular teacher. And if we are able to do it, believe me, the educator friends of mine, that yes, disruptive education is possible. This is what we have to inculcate in our classroom. You might be confused कि ma'am, this is very good when you are lecturing. Okay, lecture देना बहुत easy बात है, but actually when it comes to implement, it is very much difficult. So it's not very much difficult. At least we have to start the journey. Once we start the journey, believe me, we will able to cross the miles. Right, as Robert Frost has said, that we have to choose that path. Right, the choice is yours. We have two paths available. One, that is a road traveled by many people outside, many teachers, very much easy. Class में जाओ, पढ़ाओ, बंद करो, class खत्म करो. So that is also one of the path available. And another path, that is the road less traveled by, the road that is chosen by very less teachers outside. And that road is again very challenging also, because you have to continuously invent, you have to continuously invest your efforts. Plus, if you are a working mother, let's say, you have to have many responsibilities outside. So yes, I do agree that the path is very challenging. But yes, my friends, if you want to have that stable life, if you want to serve your purpose and meaning of your profession, you have to select the road less traveled by. So that is what Robert Frost was saying, that yes, I have chosen the road that was less traveled by, and that has made all the difference in my life. So yes, if you want to, it's not only I'm saying that आपको लगेगा this is students life ना, मुझे क्या करना है उससे, the difference will be in students life, but no, eventually the difference will be yours also. So if you want to have certain change in your life, the journey starts from now onwards. So I'll just focus on these two, what we have to do in our classrooms. Students come with a fixed mindset. For example, they have, I cannot do this, ma'am. This is not my cup of tea. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing it, ma'am. Kyun karu ye? No, frank, no. There are students who will say, whenever you give certain task, no. Right, our times was a very different, when we have that fear in our mind for the teachers. But now the generation has changed. They will directly say no, and it's okay to say no. I don't want to do this is too hard, ma'am, this is very much complicated, I cannot do it, this is boring, I hate this, ma'am, I'm dumb and this is not something I can do it, I don't care. Okay, there are teachers the teachers will be there who will give that if you are not doing it, your marks will be deducted. We give them the pressure of marks, but still the student are saying, I don't care. ले लो ना भाई, मार्क्स को किसकी बाबा रणछोड़ दास ने कहा है, एक्सीलेंस के पीछे भागो. राइट, सो वी हैव सर्टेन सेट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स. यस, and lastly but very serious, I quit. So we don't have to entertain this fixed mindset of the students. What we the teachers have to do is the growth mindset. Right, whenever they say I cannot do it, tell them that yes, it's okay to make mistakes, but you can do it. So oops, I made a mistake, and I'll fix it. You have to involve, you have to develop that sense of ability, agility in them, so that they will be able to create this type of statements. That is, oops, I made a mistake. They will realize their mistake, and they will be easily adaptable to overcome those mistakes also. I can do hard things, right? In fixed mindset, the word was I cannot do hard things. This is very hard for me. So that fear, don't allow that fear to enter in your minds. Make that connection with them so that they will say that yes, I can do hard things also. क्या इसमें क्या रखा है? I believe I can do it. I'll try again. I can do it, right? So when you give this positive responses to your brain, automatically that development is reflected to your life. My brain is smart. I want to learn. I'll try. Yes, I'll try my best. I won't give up. So what we have to do is, instead of focusing on the fixed mindset, we have to create our classrooms so that the students will be able to grow eventually. Of course, I know that you know this person who believes that there are certain set of teachers who are like him only, virus. And that is why we call him a virus. So the people, the teachers who are like virus, who just believe life is like a race. If you don't run fast, you'll get trampled down. Right? So we don't want to be virus in our lives, for our students at least, right? From virus, I mean that we are not here to judge any student on the basis of the capability. We have to accept them. Then only the growth mindset is possible. So life is not like a race. Yeah, I agree that life is a race and you have to be capable of doing so many things. But first of all, believe in themselves, believe in their capabilities. Then only he'll be believing in his capabilities. So you have to believe in your students capabilities, that yes, you can do it. They are student, and beta agar gir bhi gaye to I'm there to pick you up, so don't worry. But the students who are like virus, who just focusing on the geniuses of the class, the students who scores good marks in the classroom, but they are not having that confidence, we can say. They are not having that required skill set for the corporate nowadays. So eventually they will get trampled. They are running fast, but they will get trampled. So this is not what we have to focus on. But instead of that, what we have to focus on, I see, you see, that is what my title. We have to include the question mark in our class. We have to be the teachers like him. सिखाने वालों को सिखा देंगे, right? We have to create that atmosphere. पढ़ाएंगे ऐसे के पढ़ा देंगे, right? We have to be the same learners with them. नहीं के शब्द को बदल देंगे हम, नहीं से क्यों नहीं में बना देंगे हम. So this is what the new century teachers, I'm having that vision in our mind, that this is what the new century, and students are also expecting this kind of teachers. So eventually the traditional teachers have to change, have to come out of their cocoon, and they have to be smart enough that they can develop their students, so that they also have that curiosity in the mind. So this is what the new century teachers, what I want to propose by I see and you see. So it's I see you performing in class. You are there who can do multiple tasks. I see that you can do collaborative activities in class. I can see that you participate in class. So the more focus, if you notice in my statement, I see, you see, the more focus is on you, right? I want you to grow. I want your performance. I want your opinion. And whenever psychologically, when you give importance to this you will get the chance to develop. So you is your student. So your classroom is not an island, right? It's not an island where there are students who are clueless what is going on in the classroom. No. So the teachers have to believe that yes, every day when you are getting out of your bed, if your classroom doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. You also belong to the same set of traditional set of teachers who just speak in the classroom and teach the students. They're not bothered about the concerned about the growth of the child, right? So for that we have to feel from, and that comes from within, let's say, right? We have to have that feeling in ourselves that yes, we want to do something, we want to change something, we want to spread the change, we want to dare, we want to have that dare. So this is you have to believe that your classroom is not island where you imagine that students understand everything whatever you speak. No, you have to go to their comfort zone, you have to sit with them, even you have to understand that whether actually what are the problems they are facing, and if they are not able to perform any task, ask them what is the problem, why are you not able to do it. So if it doesn't challenge you, my friends, it doesn't change you at all. So it's again your choice what path you want to select. You want to change or you don't want to change. Last but very very important, so I have given you much lecture about IC and UC, but as my title says that it's about student and teacher relationships, and again it is not possible only by the efforts of teachers only. The students have to be involved in the classroom processes. So this is particularly building relationship, and this is proposed by one of the Education Week report paper that I have read. So where it was mentioned that if you are able to establish that rapport with the students, and if you help them interact in the classroom, you will find the success eventually. So for that, there are three things required. One, one-to-one communication, right? Not necessary in the classroom itself, but whenever you feel that yes, students are not comfortable, one particular student or many particular student, you have to mentor them, you have to understand their requirements. So one to one communication, not necessary during the office hours, you can establish, because right now we are virtual, we have that benefit. Establish certain virtual office hours to connect individually on the academic and personal welfare. There will be students who are depressed by their personal problems. There are peer pressures. So you have to understand that, and that may be the interlinkage of their performance. Because of that, they are not able to perform some of the times. So this is one-to-one communication, and this is not what I am proposing. This is a research base that if you want success in the rapport building of student and teachers, the first is one-to-one communication. So whenever you feel that some student in your class is having certain difficulty in performance, ask them. Ask them on individual basis. Plan the virtual visits, because right now the time is of virtual. The next that is in red, and that is very important, because punctuate work with fun, right? Have some fun exercises, because lecturing is not one of the ways you should deal with your students, right? You lecture bahut milta hai, they will easily find in the Google, and they will learn it. So you're not doing nothing anything new. So have your classroom with fun, involve certain activities, and for that you have to have the proper session plan. It should be inculcated before. The session planning is very much important. So plan the ways how your class will start. Have certain, don't start open page number this, today we are going to discuss this topic. No, sorry, thank you, that the time is over now. So you have to develop certain activities, so that the mind of the students will always have the fun in the classroom. So that will also showcase your personality. And last but not the least, very important, peer to peer connection, right? So one to one communications of your with student, peer to peer connection, give them the lots of team building activities, give them the assignments, projects, so that they will also be able to know their inner side. They will also be able to know what they are excel at. So this will help the students to work in a team, to identify their original skills. So that this is possible by the teachers only. So you have to find out the ways by which you can incorporate and facilitate the successful classroom delivery. So last, for conclusion, I just want to have this few lines for teachers especially, because in one of the TED talks, what I have heard, Miss Rita, who was sharing her ideas, she's having 40 years of experience, and in one of the TED talks, she was saying that one of her colleagues actually, when she was dealing with the classroom, what she said this: I'm not here being paid to like my student, to spread difference to my student's life. ठीक है, सो इतने पैसों में तो इतना ही काम होगा. आई एम नॉट हियर फॉर दैट, right? So this poem is for those ideology mindset people. You work hard, you make money, right? Eventually the salary matters, and I agree with that. I don't mind to tell it publicly also, right? But you are doing it for yourself. That is not your life. You have to identify the meaning and purpose of your life, right? So instead of working hard and making money, that is the millions of people outside is doing. You're not doing nothing anything new, right? So the money will be there. Yes, it has a particular importance in our life, and I do agree with it. You go out, seek for the people who need your help, especially your students. You make, at least start with one, you make their lives better. And when actually if you are able to do it, okay, it will just take some of your extra hours to make somebody's lives better. You become that sponge that absorb all the negativity and all the fears of their lives. You become that person who can emit all the beautiful positive vibes in their lives, right? So don't consider it is their lives. I am not getting paid for it, so why should I do it? No, eventually it will help you also when you realize this concept, that you have changed somebody's life. And when publicly, if that person is growing, is developed because of you, has not given up in his life, that day you actually leave the life. So that is what we need to understand, and that is what we have to focus on. If you want to have the liveliness in your life, you have to start working from now. So this will be one of the key factor that will be important in this movement of disruptive education. So this is all from my side, sir, and now I'll stop the screen share. Yeah, and over to you. Thank you very much, GETI also, and Dr. Sumita Gandhi, Pradeep sir, to give me the wonderful opportunity to speak out my heart. And if my words can spread difference in the society, that will be again, that day I'll leave my life. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, Harshil Dhave has a question. He wants to know whether you think that the students' thinking capacity and creativity has declined due to online classes.
Not actually. Again, it is. It's depend on the students, but it is also dependable on the pedagogy the teacher is using in the classroom. So we have just changed the mode from offline. We have done online. I remember in many of my online classroom, I have designed many activities that will actually focus on students' critical thinking ability. So it all depends on the teachers how actually they want to deliver the class, whether it is online or offline. Yes, offline has its own importance. I do agree with that also. But yes, because the change is there, we have to be adaptable. There is no option available. So challenge is there, but we have to be adaptable with the change. So that is
Thank
what
you,
my
ma'am.
opinion is.
Thank you, ma'am. And good evening. Before I go, please, you are requested to watch our detox, our disruptive literacy movement by Global Dream, which is an initiative by Dr. Sunita Gandhi, our mentor, since 2014. The whole idea is that all of India becomes literate with everybody's help, and each one teach one is a slogan which should be taken very seriously to ensure that foundational literacy and numeracy. For this, we have several talks a day, and please contact again 740840100. So, good evening, everybody. Thank you, and goodbye. See you again tomorrow.
Thank you.